Book of Jasher story time. I'm gonna do a little story time. I've been going through the Book of Jasher, but I haven't been, and it's long overdue that I go talk about a little bit about the Book of Jasher. This is some of the things in the Book of Jasher that is ludicrous, but I want you to all pay attention to it. Maybe you believe with it, maybe you don't believe it. Right here in the Book of Jasher, it says, "And she gave them knives to peel the citrons to eat them, and she commanded that they should dress Joseph in costly garments, and that he should appear before them. And Joseph came before their eyes. And all the women looked on Joseph and could not take their eyes from off of him. And they all cut their hands with knives that they had in their hands. And all the citrons that were in their hands were filled with blood." So these women are cutting themselves because they're looking at Joseph. He is so alluring to them that they can't take their eyes off him, to the point where they're harming themselves. Let's go to verse 30. "And they knew not what they had done, but they continued to look at the beauty of Joseph, and they could not turn their eyelids from him." Now, who are these people that are cutting themselves? All the women in the house. But you'll see, this is Potiphar's wife right here. "And Zelka saw what they had done, and she said unto them, What is this work that you have done? Behold, I gave you citrons to eat, and you have all cut your hands." So we got all these people cutting themselves. I know it sounds ridiculous, but we're going to, maybe it's one of their little, Potiphar's wife. Let me see, let's keep going. "And all the women saw their hands, and behold, they were full of blood, and their blood flowed down to their garments. And they said unto her, This slave in your house has overcome us, and we cannot turn our eyelids from him on account of his beauty." So because of Joseph's beauty, they all cut themselves. This is the stuff in the Book of Jasher. All right. He was just so beautiful, they all just start cutting themselves. Now, let's continue. "And she said unto them, Surely this happened to you in the moment that you looked on him, and you could not contain yourself from him. How then can I refrain when he is constantly in my house, and I see him day after day going in and out of my house? How then could I keep from declining or even from perishing on the account of this?" Right here, she's trying to justify her adultery to all the women. Well, they saying the king don't know. I mean, not even the king. They say Potiphar don't know. He ain't the king. They say Potiphar don't know about this. "And they said unto her, The words are true, for who can see this beautiful form in the house and refrain from him?" Damn. So they say it just can't help themselves. "And he is not thy slave and attendant in thy house. And why dost thou not tell him that which is in thy heart, and suffer thy soul to perish through this matter?" She said unto him, "I am daily endeavoring to persuade him, and he will not consent to my wishes. And I promised him everything that is good, and yet I could meet with no return from him. I am therefore in declining state, as you see." So she's telling all of them, I cannot commit adultery. But who is she telling all this to? "And Zilkah became very ill on account of her desire towards Joseph, and she was desperately lovesick on account of him. And all the people of the house of Zilkah and her husband knew nothing of this matter, that Zilkah was ill on the account of the love of Joseph." So all the women cutting themselves, all the people know about it, but I guess her husband, Potiphar, don't know nothing. And right here, verse 37. "And all the people of her house asked her, saying, Why art thou ill and declining, and lacketh nothing? She said unto them, I know not this thing which is daily increasing upon me. And all the women and her friends came daily to see her, and they spoke with her. And she said unto them, This can only be through the love of Joseph. And they said unto her, Entice him and seize him secretly." So all the women are saying for her to commit adultery. Let's continue. I mean, this is a really good story. Also, it talks about Joseph talking to the dead, talking to his dead mother. We can get into that in the book of Jasher, but I just wanted to show one thing. I think I talk about this. Joseph heard a voice speaking to him from beneath the ground, which answered him with bitterness of heart and with a voice of weeping and praying in these words. My son Joseph, I've heard that voice tonight. We've been talking about, so he's talking to his mother from the grave, right? But we got a lot more things in the book of Jasher I wanted to go over. Just want to say something about the book of Jasher real quick.